Okay guys, the first step is to remove the cotter pin. And I use a pair of diagonal cutters because it reaches in there real well. You just pinch them and pull right out. Normally without breaking them, even though you should replace it every time. But I know most of us do not do that. Rod nut is a 19 millimeter. Pop that out. And then to release it, I don't use a pickle fork. I do it like that so I don't end up tearing that boot. So that's all. Gotta unhook this ABS cable, get that out of the way. But before I do that, I'm gonna take the brake caliper off. Caliper bracket bolts are 18 millimeter. Don't make more work for yourself. You can just unbolt the bracket. You don't have to unbolt the slide pins at all. Gently put that caliper off to the side, get this brake rotor out of the way. So you can see what I'm doing. There you can just see me turning that, how bad that lower ball joint is binding up. ABS sensor is a 10 millimeter. If it even comes out of the housing. Yep, it's coming. ABS sensor is out. That's out of the way. This job calls for 3 hours for both sides. Sway bar link is a 15 mil. See how easily that pops out. I put the nut on partially so I don't damage the threads. There we go. Then we have the upper ball joint pinch bolt. The upper ball joint pinch bolt is an 18. Same thing, I'm going to take it off most of the way. With a hammer a few times. That is separated. I'm just getting that sway bar link out. That's separated. Now I got plenty of room to get to the ball joint stub. Which is a 24 millimeter. Now in this case, I am going to show you a pickle fork because this boot's already torn, so it doesn't matter if I do any more damage to it. There you guys go. What I ended up doing was, if you can see that, I put 2 pickle forks in like this, and I got it popped right out. I can bend the heat shield a little bit to get that off. Now I see no snap ring in here. Got my good old handy dandy ball joint press here. That has definitely seen much better days, but it still works. Kind of a normal 22. And that doesn't fit very well. Now, if you're doing this at home, you can use a wrench, tighten it up. When it gets so tight, just smack the top of it with a hammer. You'll hear a pop, and just keep doing that until that ball joint just slides on out. Now, the problem with this ball joint is it didn't have play, but the boot was gone. It is so rusted that it was making noise and the car was really wandery because this wouldn't move freely anymore. Guys, I want to show you something real quick. I just started working on the left side of these ball joints, and that brake line is not supposed to be twisted like that. So after I take this caliper off and I put it back on, I'm going to make sure to flip it around so it's not like that. Also, another side note, guys, the other side came right out. This side will not come out for the ABS sensor. Don't break the sensor. Don't hit it out. Don't force it out with a hammer. Just take the extra minute, unplug it, and just take it down as an assembly. Again, here's how I did the double pickle fork. I have this one wedged up against the steering stop, and then I will hammer this one until it pops up. All right, guys, here is the new ball joint. In case I didn't mention it before, don't even attempt this without a ball joint press. They're expensive, but just go to Advance and rent one. You're gonna kill yourself trying to do this without a press and probably not end up completing the job anyway. In. Much nicer than the old one. I'm going to put the knuckle back on. Make sure you bend this shield back. But I'm not making more work for myself. I'm not making more work for myself when I'm unbolting that shield. This is a 24. Now you don't want to over tighten that. If you over tighten it, it will reduce the life of the ball joint and it'll make the car feel very wandery as you're driving it. So what I'm going to do is there's not enough room to get this in because of being popped up. Or how this popped down after I separated it. So if you're doing this at home, you can just use a floor jack. You just need to go out, as far out on the control arm as you can. So that way you get enough leverage to actually lift the arm up instead of lifting the whole car up. know you can't see that on camera, but I'm just tapping that upper ball joint into the hole. That should be enough. Now for the upper ball joint pinch bolt, it is a knurled bolt, so you don't have to hold the bolt side when you're taking it in or out. You just have to hold the nut side, or not hold the nut side, but just thread the nut side. So I got that bolt put in place. At this moment, I am kind of rushing because they've been waiting a long time and they weren't supposed to be waiting originally. So I'm going to pop that sway bar link in. So I'm going to pop this sway bar link back in, which is a 15 millimeter. Now I know this is just going to spin, so I'm putting a pair of vice grips on the back side to keep it from spinning. There we go. Sway bar link is in. I'm going to bolt the ABS sensor back up. That is just a 10 millimeter for that. And like I said, if you can't get that ABS sensor out, unhook the wire that's up here. You don't want to break a $35, $40 ABS sensor because you're too lazy to unhook the wire. I'm putting the nut on for the upper ball joint pinch bolt. That is on. Throw the brake rotor on. Make sure the ABS wire is secure. Brake caliper bracket bolts are in, they're a 19. And the very last thing is to hook the tie rod up. And pretty much every time I do a job like this, I unhook the tie rod first and I hook it back up last. And I have a reason for that. That's so I can turn this easy to access other bolts without having to worry about turning the whole rack or steering box. Same thing, you don't want to make that castle nut very tight. That's what the new cotter pin's for, to keep that in place. If you make it too tight, it'll end up wandering and you'll have weird handling effects. Anyway, guys, it's pretty much done. I just got to put the wheels on, throw it on the lima rack. Super easy job. If you like this video, please like and share. I will put a link down in the description for ball joints for this. Like I said, if you need a ball joint press, you're only going to use it once, don't buy it. Go rent it at Advance Auto. Thanks and have a great day.